Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I am back to where it all started, Island Lake State Park. This is where I came, wow, back in April. It's now almost September. I came here in April, made my first video back when I didn't know how to make videos, which I guess is still subjective. I don't know how far I've come, but anyway, I wanted to take a cruise back through Island Lake State Park. Hopefully if you're seeing this video, it worked out. I've got an Insta 360 and I want to just experiment with that. I wanted to do kind of a low speed ride around somewhere close to home and see if I couldn't see how that's going to work out, get you some cool footage. And since I was here in my first video, I kind of learned a few things about this state park. So I thought I'd come back and cruise through on this beautiful, almost September day. Some people over there at the beach. But yeah, right up here in this parking lot is when I told you about my initial problems with my Can Am Spyder. That was, you know, I've got almost 1,800 miles now. That was probably, I think, 300 miles, between 300 and 500. Ironically, that video, I didn't know it at the time because I didn't know what I was getting into, was the most watched video on this channel. I've made 27 videos now, and maybe it just shows that, you know, problem videos get more views, but that's the highest viewed video I've had, and it was my first video, so it's kind of ironic. But here I am, no problems since then, in almost 1,800 miles. So how fitting is that? Yeah, it was right here. Pulled over in this spot right here and told you my story. Didn't know where my journey was going to take me, and here we are. And if you're wondering if I would do it all over again with the Spyder, I sure would. Despite those early problems, it's quite the machine. And a lot more adventures coming. If you've watched the videos that were prior to this, you'll know that I bought a trailer to transport the Spyder, and I can tell you I've got some adventures already planned for this winter. I know that seems like a long ways away. We're going into September. But I've got plans for January, February, and March already, so if you want to subscribe, that would be awesome. I'm still trying to get to 1,000 subs. Today before I left, milestone 650. So I thank everybody who has subscribed so far, but even though the weather is going to get cold here soon, that's not rush summer, I guess, but I will be here through the cold weather and probably not in Michigan. So follow my Spyder adventures for the future, because I've got some cool trips and I've already got a bunch of stuff planned in my head of where I want to go and what I want to show you guys. Sort of just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this channel. But today we're just going to enjoy a ride around the park. Oh, my 360 camera fell over. Dang it. Didn't even notice that. Shoot. Shoot. This is the problem when you're trying to figure out how to set up a 360 camera. I was worried about this. My hunch was right. This camera doesn't seem to want to support itself. Doesn't want to support itself that high. We'll see. Well, let's see what we got here. Trials and tribulations of the 3D camera, or 360 camera. Let's see. Well, there you go. Problem number one with the 360 camera. Does not want to stay upright. Last thing I want to do is whack somebody with a 360 camera. I read about an incident that happened in Sturgis where some riders had 360 cameras and they were coming around a curve and the cameras kind of were sticking out into traffic, both of them coming opposite directions, I guess, and the 360 cameras actually collided with each other and caused an accident. So that's kind of crazy. I can see it trying to fall back again. And I think it's going to do the same thing. This thing will just not hold up, I don't think. 360 camera. Too tall. Let's try that. Alright, I've lowered the wand on the 360 camera. We'll see if it manages to stay and not fall down. Who knew these 360 cameras could be so complicated to try to moto vlog with? Maybe you guys can give me some tips. Only thing I knew so far to keep it out of my view was to mount it to the back handrail, but it doesn't seem like it wants to stay. I can see it in my mirror. And that's why I wanted to come to this park and try it, because the speeds are 25 miles an hour. And I can slowly see it creeping down again. Man, it does not want to stay up. Might have to abort. Oh, and there it goes. Alright, 360 camera. Does not want to stay up. Alright, one more time. Now the 360 camera is at the lowest point it can go. We'll see if it falls down. Of course, now we're not going to get the nice high view because the camera is only as tall as I am now and looking probably at the back of my helmet. But we'll find out. Well, hopefully it doesn't fall completely off. Might fall down, but not off. Ooh, now I'm speeding. And it's going down. And it's going down. And it just fell down. Guess the 360 camera experiment is not gonna work. Okay, failure on mounting the 360 camera. But we'll soldier on. So anyway, what I learned, I went to a I went to a historical society, a park historical society meeting. And it was here in the park, and they were kind of going over some of the history of Island Lake State Park. And it was really interesting to me, and I'll show you up here at the back. There was a casino, a dance hall, and a hotel. And in the 1920s, Babe Ruth used to come out here when he was playing for the Yankees, and they would play the Detroit Tigers. He knew the hotel owner, and he would come out to this lake and hang out. So it was kind of a celebrity thing back in the 20s. He actually got arrested here, I believe, he used to fish a lot on this lake, and he got arrested, I think, for somehow at the time of the illegal fishing or catching illegal size fish or something, and actually got arrested and I think got a ticket, and he was sent to the Howell jail, which is another 15 minutes west of here. So that was kind of the Babe Ruth claim to fame. And he also used to come here, and he would hit baseballs out into the lake to the kids. So you can imagine a huge beach. He would come out here, huge megastar for the time, and people would find out it was out here. He would hit baseballs out into the lake for the kids. It was kind of a known hot spot for Babe Ruth to come out. And in the subsequent years, they built a roller rink as well on this lake up here. And it was, just sort of a historical site. It's weird that in modern times, we just think that things look like they used to look. And to know that the history, that you're just driving right by, like what's in these woods and things that are around this area, if only they could talk to you, if they could tell you all the stories. I just found it was really interesting that, such provenance happened here in the late 1800s and early 1900s on a small lake in Brighton, Michigan. It's kind of interesting to me. So I'll go up here, we'll go around by the lake. I'll kind of show you a vantage point and kind of point out where this hotel, casino, ice house, and beach used to be. It doesn't look like, it's not a beach anymore. It's kind of all grown up. I guess the water level, the park ranger said, was about 5 feet higher than it was way back then. And there's some photos of just all the people in the water, like it was a big Sunday at the beach, and all you see is these folks. It's a black and white photo of all these folks in the water. And that's quite interesting. As somebody who has a metal detector and goes to lakes and finds all kinds of jewelry and lost items, I'm fascinated by the fact that you actually can't. There's a sign up here because of the relics in the area that you can't use your metal detector here. But if I could just imagine wading out there into that lake and what you would find from late 1800s to early 1900s. That would just be crazy to me. What's in that water? I mean, I have metal detected other lakes around here. Matter of fact, I just found a 1930s ring that I did some research on that came from an adjacent lake here that used to have a water slide, again from the 1930s and 40s. And yeah, I just found a ring from 1936 in that lake, but there's signs up here saying no metal detecting. I'm sure for that reason, but it's intriguing to me that I look out at that lake and I think of all the people that have been in there, because it looks like a normal lake now. There's really not a beach area, so it's kind of hard to just think of what it used to be. But I don't know, just a kind of a little history lesson about Island Lake. And some folks didn't see this park probably in my first video, so I thought I would kind of come back through here and add a little commentary to this area. Seems quite historical. So it's hard to tell, but this would be all beach. There would just be tons of people here in the 1930s. I'll try to drive around. The ice house was right over here. The casino and dance hall were across the lake on this side right here. So yeah, where I was just standing was right over there. That's where the hotel, casino, dance hall was. The ice house was over here. This was all beach. All in here was, back in the day, tons of beach, and I'll try to put some photos of that. And then there was a roller rink around the corner and a general store that we can't see either. And there used to be a railroad stem that came right in here where they would transport the ice from the ice house. Small lake, but very touristy in the 1920s and 30s, for sure. Man, if I could get out there with a metal detector, there's probably all kinds of great stuff out there. So I'll turn in here. This is called the Spring Mill Pond. Spring Mill Pond. And a lot of swimmers here. And just last week I was here, and a gentleman was in the water and lost his gold wedding band that flew off his finger when he was throwing a football. And I happened to be here in the water at the same time. At the other end, they flagged me down, and I found the gentleman's gold ring in about 5 minutes and got a nice reward. I refused to take it, but they insisted that they pay me for finding his gold wedding ring. And typically when I come here, I find all kinds of jewelry. I come here probably twice a week, and somebody is always losing something in this pond. And it's deep enough you can see a flag. There's a lot of scuba divers come here and practice, I think. So yeah, nice little beach, nice little area for a park. See some folks out there right now. I don't see anybody metal detecting, but yeah, that right there, it's been quite lucrative for me over the years. Just another tidbit about Island Lake. Well, everybody, thanks for joining me. It's gonna wrap it up for another video. I hope you liked it. I'll see you in the next one, and ride safe. Thank you very much.